My wife, Emily, and I have been married for 3 years. We met at university. She was a part-time student, and I was already working. We rent an apartment in a bedroom community. It's not fancy, but we manage. Emily is an ambitious woman and decided to get a second higher education on correspondence courses in her hometown. This time she was facing an exam session, exams, credits and all that. She had been preparing for weeks, studying every night, so that I wouldn't be left alone and have to make my own meals, especially since my culinary skills were poor. Emily had arranged for her mother, Linda, to stay with me while she was away. I was concerned at first. Living with my mother-in-law. It sounded awkward, but Emily insisted. And to my surprise, Linda was nothing like I'd imagined. She arrived with a cheerful smile and a bag full of groceries, determined to make our stay at the house as pleasant as possible for both of us. Linda is 42 years old and looks great. She is a fitness trainer and has an easygoing, laid-back personality. She doesn't nag or boss me around, and as a bonus, is an amazing cook. She leaves in the mornings to work at a gym in a nearby neighborhood and returns in the evenings. Meanwhile, I work from home as a programmer, glued to my computer most of the day, only occasionally traveling to the office. Her presence brought a sense of warmth to the apartment that I hadn't expected, and at first I thought we had found a comfortable balance. The first few days went smoothly. I worked, she did her chores, and in the evenings we had dinner and watched TV together. We chatted about simple things: her day at the gym, my projects at work, or Emily's progress on her exams. But then I started noticing little things, disturbing things. Like the way she'd come out of the bathroom in a short robe, and the fabric would stick to her in a way that made me look away. Or the way she'd bend over to pick something up and her cleavage would reveal more than I was ready to see. I was starting to catch myself thinking thoughts that shouldn't be in my head. Especially since Emily rarely called, she was busy with exams. One evening we were having tea, and Linda started talking about her life. Her gaze lingered on me, and I felt uneasy. She told me about her early years, about how she had managed to balance raising Emily with her career. Her voice was soothing, almost hypnotic. Then she stood up, walked over to me, and began massaging my shoulders. "You must be tired after sitting at the computer all day," she said. Her touch and the scent of her perfume made me dizzy. I had to turn around to stop her, but when I did, she leaned in so close to me that I could feel her breath. There was a mischievous glint in her green eyes, so similar to Emily's. That night I lay awake, ashamed of myself. The next morning Linda acted as if nothing had happened. She made breakfast and went to work as usual. Emily called and inquired how things were going. "Fine," I muttered, feeling like the world's worst husband. I couldn't bring myself to tell her about the night before, or that Linda's presence was starting to bother me. But Linda wasn't done yet. "Don't worry," she whispered later. "It's our little secret. Emily doesn't need to know about it from then on." Things only intensified. We watched movies together in the evenings, and she snuggled up to me. "It's been so long since I've met a man like you," she whispered. She would snuggle up to me, and her touch would linger longer than it should. I felt like an idiot, torn between shame and temptation. I couldn't stop. It was like I was caught in a whirlpool. I tried to pull away, retreating to my office more often and working late into the night. But Linda always found ways to lure me back. She'd bring me snacks, lean over my desk to see what I was working on, and her hair would touch my cheek. She was relentless, and I was too weak to resist. Each interaction drove me more and more at odds, and I became more and more tangled in a web I couldn't get out of. Emily returned a week later, tanned and glowing, ecstatic to have passed her exams. She missed me, she said. I could barely meet her gaze. Linda soon left, but before she did, she whispered, "I'll be back soon." Her tone was casual, but the look she gave me sent a shiver down my spine. Now I'm in this mess. I know it's wrong. I know nothing good can come of it. But I can't forget those nights. The way Linda looked at me, the way she touched me, it's all imprinted in my memory. And when Linda calls and says she's planning another visit, my heart races with fear and anticipation. I'm torn between the life I've built with Emily and the forbidden excitement Linda brings. I've never felt so lost.